Listen to me, there is no excuse for not trying. None. People will tell you it's too hard, you don't have enough time, you don't have enough talent, you don't have the resources. That's all noise. Excuses are cheap, but effort is priceless. If you don't even try, you've already lost. If you try, you give yourself the chance to win, to grow, to break through. I don't care if you fail 100 times. Failure means you stepped up, you moved forward, you took action. But when you don't even attempt, when you sit back and hide behind excuses, that is the real failure. You've got one life, one shot, and it doesn't wait for you. Every single day is an opportunity to put in the work, to push, to test yourself. So stop waiting for the perfect time, stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for someone to hand you the chance. Get up, get moving, and fight for it. You will be tired, you will be scared, you will doubt yourself. That's normal, but remember, pain is temporary, excuses last forever. And when you look back, you will never regret trying. You will only regret that you didn't. So hear me, there is no excuse for not trying. Not now, not ever. Excuses are worthless, effort is everything. Think about it. Every time you tell yourself you can't do something, every time you put the blame on circumstances, on lack of resources, on other people, on timing, you are wasting your energy. Excuses don't lift the weight for you. Excuses don't get you out of bed in the morning. Excuses don't bring you closer to your goals. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves to feel better about doing nothing. They are soft, comfortable, and deadly because they keep you in the same place while the world moves forward without you. People who spend their lives perfecting excuses never achieve anything worth remembering because excuses don't build legacies, they destroy them. Effort, on the other hand, is everything. When you give effort, you create momentum. When you put in effort, even if it is small, even if it looks insignificant to others, you are pushing yourself one step closer to the version of you that you know you can become. Effort doesn't require talent. It doesn't require luck. It doesn't require permission. All it requires is that you show up and you give what you've got in that moment. You may not have much, but you always have effort. And when you choose to give effort instead of excuses, you are rewriting the story of your life in real time. Excuses are rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish, fear of the unknown. It's easier to say, I can't, than to say, I will try. But fear shrinks when you attack it with action. Every time you put in effort despite being afraid, you weaken the power of that fear, and soon enough it stops controlling you. Excuses are just fear dressed up as logic. They sound reasonable, but they are empty. Effort, no matter how messy or imperfect, is always worth more than the most polished excuse. You cannot measure excuses, but you can measure effort. Excuses never give results, but effort produces results. They might be slow, they might be small, but they are real. You cannot fake effort. You can fake words, you can fake intentions, but the sweat on your face, the hours you put in, the progress you make, that is proof of effort. Excuses might satisfy you for a moment, but they always come back to haunt you, because deep down, you know you didn't give your best. Effort leaves you with no regret, because even if you fail, you know you left it all on the table. The truth is, no one cares about your excuses. The world does not stop spinning because you had a rough day. Life doesn't wait because you're tired. Opportunities don't pause because you don't feel ready. While you're busy building excuses, someone else is building their future. Someone else is grinding, sweating, pushing through. Someone else is living the life you dream about because they chose effort over excuses. Effort is the great equalizer, because you may not have money, connections, or advantages, but you can always control your effort. Excuses are like chains that hold you back, and you are the one locking yourself in. But effort is the key that unlocks everything. Every single accomplishment in history came from effort. Every great athlete, every great leader, every innovator, every person who changed the world did it because they gave effort when others gave excuses. They worked when they were tired, they pushed when it hurt, they kept going when it didn't make sense. That is what separates winners from losers. Not talent, not luck, not excuses, but effort. Excuses are comfortable lies. They protect your ego in the short term, but destroy your potential in the long term. Effort is uncomfortable truth. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and commitment, but it builds a foundation of pride, strength, and accomplishment. Excuses rot your future, effort builds it. You can't talk your way into success, you have to work your way into it. You can't blame your way into greatness, you have to grind your way into it. Excuses are worthless, effort is everything. Failure is proof you tried, inaction is true failure. Every time you step forward and attempt something, whether you succeed or stumble, you are already ahead of the person who never even took the first step. People often confuse failure with defeat, but they are not the same. Failure is a teacher. It is a mirror that shows you what worked and what didn't. It is a necessary ingredient in growth. Defeat only happens when you decide to quit, when you choose to do nothing, when you let fear and doubt paralyze you before you even begin. The moment you attempt something, even if it collapses, you gain experience, knowledge, strength, and resilience, all of which are impossible to acquire by sitting idle and doing nothing. Think about how many people live their whole lives in hesitation, waiting for the perfect timing, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until the conditions are exactly right. That wait never ends. They keep waiting, and one day their life is over, and they never even tried. That is the true definition of failure. Not that they fell down, not that they faced setbacks, but that they never moved at all. Inaction is the slow poison that kills dreams silently. At least when you fail, you have scars to show, stories to tell, and wisdom to carry forward. Inaction leaves you with nothing but regret. Failure is the evidence of courage. It proves that you had the guts to face risk, to face uncertainty, to take responsibility for the outcome. It shows that you cared enough to fight for something, even if you didn't win. People respect effort. People respect those who get knocked down and rise again, but no one respects those who never even enter the arena. The world belongs to the ones who try, not the ones who sit on the sidelines critiquing others. Failure puts you in the arena. It makes you a player in the game of life. Inaction keeps you in the stands, invisible and forgotten. Every breakthrough in human history was born from failure. Inventions that changed the world came after countless mistakes, experiments that didn't work, long nights of frustration, and endless setbacks. Champions in sports, leaders in business, warriors in battle. They all built their strength on top of failure after failure. Without those failures, they would never have discovered what truly works. Every misstep reveals a lesson. Every collapse forces adaptation. Every rejection builds character. Inaction provides none of that. Inaction is empty. It gives you nothing but excuses to justify why you stayed the same. Failure strengthens your spirit. When you fail and get back up, you realize that you are tougher than you thought. You start to see that pain is not permanent, that rejection is not the end, that obstacles are not walls but stepping stones. Each failure conditions your mind to keep moving forward. Each failure burns away weakness and replaces it with resilience. Inaction, on the other hand, weakens you. It makes you soft, timid, fragile. The more you avoid risk, the more fearful you become. The more you hide from trying, the smaller your world becomes. Failure expands you, inaction shrinks you. People often say, "What if I fail?" The better question is, what if you never try? You can recover from failure. You can rebuild after mistakes. You can rise again after setbacks. But you cannot recover time wasted in hesitation. You cannot rebuild a life spent hiding from opportunity. The pain of failure lasts a moment, but the pain of inaction lasts a lifetime. Failure gives you something to work with, a direction to adjust, a reason to sharpen your skills. Inaction robs you of all of that, leaving you empty, handed and full of regret. Failure humbles you. It strips away arrogance. It forces you to face reality. It makes you confront your weaknesses. And that humility is what allows you to grow, to evolve, to rise higher than before. Inaction protects your pride in the moment, but it robs you of progress. You might fool yourself into thinking you're safe, but in truth, you are stuck. Failure moves you forward, inaction keeps you locked in place. And the world does not wait. Time keeps moving, opportunities pass by, and if you don't try, you get left behind. Failure fuels success. Every time you fall short, you refine your strategy, you sharpen your focus, you adjust your methods. Success is never a straight line. It is built on a mountain of failures stacked on top of each other. Each one is a stepping stone. Inaction gives you nothing to climb. You stay at the bottom, dreaming of the view at the top, but never taking the steps. Failure hurts, yes, but it also ignites hunger. It makes you want to come back stronger, to prove yourself, to push further. Inaction never creates hunger, it only creates emptiness. Failure is proof of life. It means you are alive, you are engaged, you are striving, you are fighting for something. The scars of failure are the marks of a warrior, evidence that you were in the battle. Inaction is lifeless. It is the absence of movement, the absence of growth, the absence of passion. A life of inaction is not really living at all. It is just existing. Failure makes your story worth telling. Inaction makes your story vanish before it ever begins. One life, one shot. Don't waste it. Every day you wake up, you are handed the most valuable gift on earth, another chance to live. Not everyone got that chance today. Some people ran out of time, some never got to chase their dreams, some will never have the opportunity again. You do. You are alive right now, which means you still have the power to move forward, to fight, to create, to become more than you are. But too many people throw that gift away. They waste their days scrolling, complaining, waiting for luck, waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone else to hand them the life they want. There is no second version of this life. There is no extra attempt. There is no guarantee of tomorrow. This is it. One life, one shot. When you understand this, every excuse starts to look ridiculous. How can you say you don't have time when you know life itself is short? How can you say you're not ready when tomorrow isn't promised? How can you waste years stuck in fear, procrastination, or comfort when you only have one chance to write your story? Every second matters. Every choice adds up. Every action either pushes you closer to the life you dream about or drags you further away. If you waste your time, you are wasting your shot. If you waste your shot, you are wasting your life. People love to talk about what they want. They say, someday I'll do it. Someday I'll start. Someday I'll change. But someday doesn't exist. There is only now. And the ones who understand that are the ones who break through. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for perfect timing. They don't wait for motivation to magically appear. They seize the moment, they take the risk, they put themselves on the line. They know one thing: hesitation kills dreams. You will never have the ideal circumstances. You will never feel completely ready. But you still have to act because the clock is ticking whether you move or not. One life, one shot also means one responsibility. You cannot pass this off to anyone else. Nobody can live your life for you. Nobody can achieve your goals for you. Nobody can fight your battles for you. People can guide you, they can support you, they can inspire you, but in the end, it's your hands, your effort, your choices that shape your destiny. If you waste your shot, it's on you. If you take it, if you make it count, that's on you too. This is ultimate accountability. It's your life, and you decide whether you will rise or settle, whether you will fight or fold, whether you will create or consume. There is power in urgency. When you accept that you only get one shot, you stop living passively. You stop drifting through your days. You stop letting opportunities slip by. Instead, you begin to act with intention. You take risks. You push harder. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You cut out the excuses, the laziness, the distractions, because you know time is the most precious thing you have. You can make money back. You can recover from mistakes. You can rebuild after setbacks, but you can never get back wasted time. Every day you waste is gone forever. This one life is not a rehearsal. It's not a practice run. It's not preparation for something else. This is the stage, the main event, the only chance you'll ever have to leave a mark. So why would you spend it being average? Why would you spend it living small, holding back, blending in, waiting for comfort, avoiding risk? Playing safe guarantees regret. Playing bold gives you at least a chance at greatness. The worst thing you can do is look back and realize you didn't even try, that you wasted your one shot worrying about what other people thought or waiting for perfect conditions that never came. Your one shot is an opportunity to chase meaning, to create impact, to become the strongest version of yourself. But it requires courage, it requires work, it requires sacrifice. You cannot drift your way into a life worth remembering. You cannot stumble your way into greatness. You must take control. You must make deliberate choices. You must put in relentless effort. Every day is a decision. Do you waste it or do you use it? Do you stay the same or do you grow? Do you let it pass or do you seize it? Understand this truth. Nobody owes you anything, and life doesn't hand out second chances. You get what you fight for, not what you wish for. You get what you earn, not what you hope for. And the moment you waste, you can never retrieve. This is why urgency matters. This is why commitment matters. Because one day the clock will stop for you, and there will be no more opportunities left. On that day, excuses will mean nothing. Comfort will mean nothing. Fear will mean nothing. The only thing that will matter is whether you used your one life, your one shot, to its fullest potential. Pain is temporary, excuses last forever. The sting of exhaustion, the burn in your muscles, the frustration of falling short, the setbacks that knock you down, all of it fades with time. The soreness in your body heals, the challenges eventually pass. The difficulties become distant memories, but the excuses you make carve scars that never disappear. Every time you quit because it was hard. Every time you avoided the grind because it was uncomfortable. Every time you justified staying in your comfort zone. Those excuses stay with you. They live in your mind, they whisper in your heart, and they haunt you when you look back at what could have been. Pain is the price of progress, but excuses are the cost of regret. When you push through pain, you grow. Your body adapts, your mind strengthens, your spirit hardens. Pain is a signal that you are moving beyond your limits, that you are stretching yourself into new territory, that you are building a version of yourself that is stronger than yesterday. Without pain, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no breakthrough. Without discomfort, there is no transformation. Excuses, on the other hand, keep you stuck. They protect you from pain in the moment, but they lock you into weakness forever. Excuses keep you safe, but safe is where dreams go to die. Pain teaches discipline. It teaches you how to endure when everything in you wants to quit. It forces you to develop patience, resilience, and toughness. It strips away the illusions of quick success and shows you the truth. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who learned to carry pain on their shoulders and keep moving anyway. Excuses rob you of that lesson. They let you avoid the struggle, but they also rob you of the reward. Excuses feel good for a moment because they justify quitting, but they rot your confidence over time. Every excuse you make is a vote for weakness, and those votes add up until you no longer trust yourself to push through. The difference between winners and losers is not the absence of pain, but the refusal to let pain control them. Winners feel the same pain, they face the same obstacles, but they choose effort over excuses. They know the pain will pass, but the progress will remain. Losers choose excuses over effort. They let pain convince them it's not worth it, and that decision becomes permanent. The pain would have faded, but the excuse they made will linger, and every time they remember it, it reinforces the belief that quitting is acceptable. Pain is temporary because time always moves forward. The hardest workout will end, the longest day will finish, the toughest season of your life will eventually pass. Nothing painful lasts forever, but excuses are different. They become a permanent mark on your story. They pile up, and before you know it, they define who you are. You become the person who always talks about what they would have done or could have achieved if only things had been different. Excuses turn potential into wasted opportunity, and wasted opportunity is the heaviest burden to carry. You cannot build a strong life without learning to embrace pain. Pain is proof that you are alive, that you are in motion, that you are not hiding from challenges. Excuses are proof that you ran from the fight. Pain is temporary discomfort that pays dividends in strength and pride. Excuses are permanent comfort that pay dividends in weakness and regret. One elevates you, the other chains you down. You have to decide which one you will choose because every day offers both options. There will always be pain in chasing your goals, the pain of hard work, the pain of sacrifice, the pain of discipline. But there will also be pain if you quit, the pain of regret, the pain of lost time, the pain of watching others succeed while you stayed the same. The question is not whether life will give you pain, the question is which pain you are willing to endure. The temporary pain of effort builds you, the permanent pain of excuses destroys you. Pain can be your ally. It can sharpen your focus. It can remind you that you're pushing towards something meaningful. It can anchor you to the process when you're tempted to drift away. Excuses are your enemy. They disguise themselves as comfort, but they sabotage your future. They steal your ambition piece by piece until there's nothing left but the memory of what you could have been. Pain fades, excuses stay. Pain transforms, excuses trap. Pain frees you by showing you how much you can endure. Excuses imprison you by convincing you that you can't. Every champion, every leader, every person who built something extraordinary carried pain on their back and kept walking. They understood the truth. The reward is worth the struggle, and the struggle is temporary. Nobody remembers the pain they went through. They remember the results, the strength, the impact. Excuses leave you with nothing to show. No growth, no pride, no legacy, just empty words and lost time. Regret only comes from not trying. When you look back at your life, it will not be the failures that weigh the heaviest on your heart. It will be the chances you never took. Every time you had an idea but silenced it, every time you had a dream but ignored it, every time you had an opportunity but walked away because of fear or doubt, those moments collect and grow into regret. Failure stings for a while, but it passes and transforms into lessons, into stories, into wisdom. Regret doesn't pass. Regret stays. It lingers like a shadow, reminding you of what you could have been, what you could have done, if only you had the courage to try. People don't regret falling down, they regret never standing up. They don't regret missing a shot, they regret never taking it. They don't regret giving their best and coming up short. They regret holding back and never knowing what they were capable of. Trying means you put yourself in the arena, you gave yourself a chance, you stepped into the fight. Even if you lost, you lived, you experienced, you grew. But not trying means you stayed on the sidelines and watched your chance pass by. That is the kind of regret that eats at you, because you will always wonder what if. Life is built on risks. Every opportunity requires a leap into the unknown. The safe path may feel comfortable, but it always leads to regret, because deep down you know you settled. Trying, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, is what gives you freedom. It gives you clarity, it gives you growth, it gives you experience. Without trying, you remain stuck in the same place, spinning excuses, telling yourself stories to justify inaction. But your heart knows the truth. It knows you avoided the fight, and the older you get, the louder that truth becomes. Regret is the voice that whispers in the quiet moments, reminding you of every dream you abandoned. It doesn't care about your excuses, it doesn't accept your reasons, it doesn't disappear with time. In fact, it grows heavier with each passing year. The older you get, the fewer chances you have left, and the more you realize how many you wasted. The window of opportunity does not stay open forever. One day it closes, and once it closes, regret becomes permanent. Trying, even if you fail, gives you peace. You can tell yourself you gave it everything. You can look back with pride knowing you stood up and fought. That kind of peace is priceless. You may carry scars, you may carry lessons, but you won't carry regret. Regret belongs to those who never tried, who let fear control their choices, who played safe until there was no time left. Fear fades when you try, because action kills fear. Regret grows when you don't, because avoidance feeds it. When you try, you discover parts of yourself you never knew existed. You tap into strength, courage, and resilience that only show themselves in the battle. You find out what you're made of. You find out how far you can go. You find out that you are capable of much more than you ever believed. Not trying robs you of that discovery. It locks your potential away, never allowing it to surface. The greatest tragedy is not failing, but dying with your potential unused, your dreams unrealized, your abilities untested. Regret is permanent because you cannot undo time. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever. You cannot go back and relive it. You cannot go back and take the shot you ignored. You cannot go back and speak the words you kept inside. You cannot go back and start the journey you avoided. You only get one chance at each moment, and if you waste it, regret is all that remains. Trying, even if it doesn't lead to immediate success, means you at least lived fully in that moment. You used it, you embraced it, you gave it meaning. That is what life is about. The difference between people who feel proud and people who feel regretful in their later years is not success versus failure. It is trying versus not trying. The proud ones may not have achieved everything, but they know they gave effort, they fought, they lived. The regretful ones might have stayed safe, but they know they never took the risk, they never gave themselves a chance. They wonder what their life could have been if only they had tried. That wondering is worse than any failure. Trying is the bridge to possibility. Without trying, nothing can happen. No dream can take form, no goal can be reached, no growth can occur. Every success story in history begins with someone deciding to try, despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite doubt. Nobody ever achieved anything by avoiding action. Not trying guarantees failure. Trying at least gives you a shot at success, and even if you don't get it, you still gain strength, knowledge, and experience. Not trying gives you nothing. Regret is the heaviest weight you can carry because it has no cure. You can recover from failure, you can rebuild after loss, you can rise after defeat, but you cannot erase regret. Once it sets in, it stays. It reminds you every day of what you didn't do. That's why trying matters. Even if you fall flat, you will never regret giving your best. You will never regret putting yourself on the line. You will never regret chasing your dreams with everything you had, but you will always regret not trying.